Hi, David Erdos back with a new poem and a new slightly new visual perspective, if not a content-driven one. These poems are in many ways public service broadcasts, or my attempt to, even those that are personal, are attempts to share an inner landscape and find siblinghood with those outside. The majority of the channel is comprised of social commentary, and this poem is based on the government announcements this week about the forthcoming budget in Britain and what that holds or foretells or portends for various levels of society. So it's about our faith in leaders and what we want and expect from them when we get the ones we wanted or don't get the ones we wanted, and in turn their faith in us and how they view us. KEIR, it's cold. And so it begins. After the joy comes the jaded, dressed in sheets and shields for the winter which is beginning to bite as I type. And the love for labour recedes after the relief of replacement, and as Rachel Reeves grows still sterner, while Starmer, of course, hardens hype into an acorn, held tight, from which he hopes to grow fresh new forests. But to do that, he'll need work songs lasting longer than a projected 4 days, and with verses which do not just vouchsafe blame for everything torn apart by the Tories. That promise, if not reformation, then a return to the real, as hips sway in time to the beat of striding on through the slurry. And in something of a hurry, as in no time at all, 5 years pass, with nothing much done than untying knots on poor parcels, boxes which in due course will have buckled, turning the diamonds inside to crushed glass. Governments need 20 years to really fuck things up. Decades help them, but in one term they're just cramming, and with the examiner's hand on their arse. And yet, should they gain more, and Farage has not mobilised all his mutants, and before AI reconfigures a chat GPT Antichrist authored bill, we may see wisdom emerge through the rhyme of the limerick that is London. The untidy joke of its ruin, as detailed by Pepys, smoulders still, completed unnaturally by the pretence of our current preen to make punchlines, where once, of course, there were novels in which Dickens defined each street's thrill. Today, they sound shrill as your shoes slide along them, in ice to come or slick shadow, caused by last month's hell-like heat, which is already a thing of the past, as the climate writes its monograph on us, consigning us, should we see it, to a catalogue kept incomplete. As soon as the first pensioner dies, due to the lack of their winter fuel allowance, KEIR and co. will die with them, marked men and women in their M&S underwear, who will look at the National Health Surfeit and say, we do not have the funds to refuel this, for the rising costs caused by Tories call for a USA-style repair. I can't afford to be ill, or to die in a corridor on a gurney. I cannot pay for procedures. There'll be no cure-all for me, and I'm fine, compared to those bracing themselves in South London or in some other strange suburb where, with taps frozen, you can sink beneath tears and life's line. They will want to build new houses and schools on the bones of the fallen. They will do their best. I vote Labour, and yet the rhetoric does not suit. So by all means forewarn, as that is after all being honest, but hating the rich does not help us, as the rupture around frees the brute who joins all classes, all types, in one great howled refutation of what it is to be human and to live in a world made to share. This will be a type of tough love for sure, with Rachel Reeves as stepmother, to KEIR as the father, eyebrows imploring and hands already poised to soothe air away from the freeze and from the broken frame someone fashioned. This opening gambit and budget run-up gambles much. It assumes that we will all understand, It is today's bulldog spirit. But this is an age of chihuahuas snapping at heels. It's a clutch for a car set on course which feels kamikaze. They will lose favour. They already have. Nothing lasts, and nothing really lives under ice, apart from Kate Bush's lovely lyric. It just becomes its own mirror, preserved. Thaw too slowly, and then both taste and die have been cast. And anyway, few preserve now. This is the time of recycling, from jokes to woke wisdom, which is not wisdom at all, simply tropes. This is my truth, some now say. I have heard nothing more chilling. And so Orwell's children find order as their parents are pulled like noose rope. It is a cold day in hell, in Hull and in London. KEIR & Co. cannot cure it. Soon, someone suffers. But will it be you? Blanket hope. David Erdos, the 10th of September, 2024.